Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Labyrinth of Touhou 2 playthrough series. Second try because of some mic issues on my end. I'm Shire and my guest today is...
A bird learning to talk like a human. Tweet, tweet, tweet,
Yes. I'm afraid I lost Day, so I've got a bird that's been mimicking their patterns.
tweet. Yes, tweet, 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 tweet. You promised me seeds. Tweet, tweet.
Yes, after, okay?
Tweet, I want seeds. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Can I get some fruit?
Should have
Tweet.
got the monkey instead.
That monkey throws poo.
Yes, that's why I chose not to take it.
Tweet.
Anyway, I've
my
got a
seeds.
few parties nice and set up. We, last time, had a lot of struggle beating Iku.
There's a cat. Ah,
Oh dear.
cat.
It's just a game. But
There's
yes,
a
we
cat.
have received Iku into the party now.
Does Iku give me seeds?
Yes.
Okay. Ooh.
Oh,
Flower.
and I also went back and got one of the two rarer drops that
Oh.
she's supposed to have.
I can eat that.
Which turned out to be a big weapon thing. Whoever
Oh,
got
okay.
it, I think Chen.
Cat!
Basically just the next step of the generic items.
Cat!
Alright, let's go to the dungeon and stop this cat charade.
I don't want to.
Aww.
It's deeply entertaining me. I feel like that's the entire point of all of this, isn't it? Entertaining me,
In theory.
in theory.
In practice, it might be for my own amusement.
Ah!
Anyway, there's this huge chunk of level 8 that's still unexplored behind Iku, so let's do that.
Kill. Wait, did we already kill Iku?
Just barely.
Oh, okay. Cat! Not a cat.
Boom.
Yum,
Wriggle's back in the
bug.
party.
Yeah, I'm very happy for that. I can eat Wriggle.
She'd probably rather you didn't.
But I'm a bird and she's a bug, and I'm gonna eat bugs and
You ever heard of bird-eating spiders? I mean, they're not
What?
insects, but they are bugs.
No, I haven't. Are they real or are they made up? A cat! Are they here?
There may be some.
Bird-eating spiders here. Spiders. Wait, I've eaten spiders before and they didn't eat me.
It depends
On what?
how big the spider is.
Oh. No, but it's the little spiders that are dangerous to eat because they bite back.
Damascus Dread Shield. That's a
That's why you peck them a bit first.
big name. Alright, mutual defense item. Which means, it's better than the Uniform of Exorcism. Let's equip it.
Unicorn. Okay.
Anyway, we are in a jungle, so... yeah, spiders are gonna be big.
Spiders. Butterflies, I can eat those too.
Cat got him.
That's terrible. Cats shouldn't have butterflies. Cats shouldn't have anything. Cats should go away. I'm prejudiced.
Wow,
against cats
720
because they killed
money.
My family. I love 720 money. What's
I'll
the
tell you,
exchange rate for money?
Yeah, you can get skill points out of it. Oh yeah, just because she has such terrible TP, I went and gave Patchouli a subclass.
Oh, okay.
So she is a monk,
Sure.
which may not make too much sense, but it gives a couple of useful features.
Which you are going to outline?
Yeah, so one of them basically goes that anytime she makes an area attack, It costs one. Oh, anytime she makes a normal attack, it costs 1 point of mana and attacks everybody. Let's see if I can demonstrate that. And one of her own traits makes her regular, or is it the other way around? Oh, she's also got a trait that makes her own attacks deal more damage.
Oh, that's nice. I can do movie reviews this episode if we want.
That sounds good to me.
Granted, there'll be movie reviews of classic Australian films because I am studying Australian film right now.
I think I had our words about that in private, but classic Australian films. Go on.
I mean, which film do we wish to hear about? I need to look up the list of films I've watched. So, stalling for time. What classic Australian films have you watched? The shy one.
Gallipoli?
I haven't come up for that one yet.
We did, because we were reading the book, have to watch Romulus, My Father?
Okay. Okay, so the films we have, the first one's called Jeddah. The second one is called Wait in Fright.
I do believe I walked past my mum watching one about Nazis called Skinheads once.
Don't know if that's a classic Australian one. The third one
It was Australian, but I don't know if it's classic.
The third one is called Picnic at Hanging Rock. The next one is called, oh god.
We found the 9th floor of the dungeon.
My Brilliant Career. And then the last one I watched is called The Chant of Jimmy Blacksmith.
Go with Blacksmith.
Oh, okay. The Chant of Jimmy Blacksmith is a film about a young Aboriginal man who's been raised by a priest and tries to, you know, have the good life, build a house, get married, works hard, and basically gets shat on for it because he marries a white woman and everyone just basically treats him like he's somehow abusing her, and then he goes on a rampage and kills a bunch of people. It's apparently based on true events. I don't know how close to true. This is around the time of Australian Federation and the Boer War. I don't really have that much to say on it. I found it quite difficult to watch. Because I recognize a lot of this stuff that happens, but at the same time it's just kind of like that it absolutely is something that I'm sure, like the way he's treated in it, where he hasn't really done anything and people just are like, well, you're black, so you're shit, so fuck off. Yeah, that I'm sure that's something that is still happening in places around Australia today.
Around Australia, around the world?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're Australian films, so I'm focusing on my country, but there's also some quite sort of poignant moments where you can see sort of his disconnection from his own family and culture that's been forced on him, that's kind of given him nothing to fall back on in that direction. What was that event?
The last for once we need to free Mei-Ling.
Okay. Random ivory vines, okay. So yeah, that's that film. I don't have too much to really say on it. I don't feel super qualified to talk about it, to be honest.
Yeah. So I guess we'll go on to the next one then.
Okay. Which one do you want?
I can't remember the names. Go for the second one you mentioned.
Wake in Fright. I have lots to say about this one. Okay, so before Wake in Fright, the depiction of the Australian countryside was very much like romanticized. You know, Skippy the bush kangaroo, helping all the friends. You know, aren't those quaint little Aussies kind of? You know, they're simple but you know, and humble people, but they're good sort of thing.
Yeah, the
Um,
standard country people stereotypes.
yeah. So Wake in Fright is about the alcoholism, misery, and poverty of Australian rural towns. Fucking great. And by great, I meant I did not enjoy watching it at all, but it's quite well done for what it is. Um, it had apparently had a huge impact on Australian cinema.
What is this?
Growth egg, violet green rupee.
Glaive of Pain!
I love that you finished off with the last one because Glaive of Pain does sound pretty fun.
So for the main stuff, Growth Egg gives you more experience.
That makes sense.
More money. More XP. And... Glaive of Pain. Okay.
Attack up.
Attack up by a lot. Let's give it to Yugi.
Makes sense.
I think the Glaive of Pain was in the previous game as well.
Nice. So yeah, Wake in Fright, yeah, so basically it starts with a school teacher in rural Australia, in like one of these towns that's approximately the size of a pub and a schoolhouse.
Yep.
Literally, it's a pub and a schoolhouse. Then he goes on holiday, tries to head to Sydney, gets stuck in the Yabba, which is, you know, one of those bigger rural towns that's got streets and things, and loses a whole bunch of money gambling, and then spends most of the time sloshed because, you know, no one broke ever has to pay money in the Yabba, like pay for a drink in the Yabba. Basically, getting into the way alcoholism becomes really culturally ingrained.
Yep.
The most unwatchable part of the film is the kangaroo hunt, where they actually shot kangaroos.
Oh. Yeah, that would be unpleasant to watch.
Yep. I mean, it does its job for what the film's doing quite well, but ugh. Funnily enough, the guy playing the main character, and I mean, the actors didn't shoot the kangaroos, obviously, they had an actual hunter do the actual shooting shots. The actor who plays the main character is, well, I think he's still alive, but he was vegetarian and very gay. Like, openly gay in the 70s.
Yep.
Which I did not know watching the film, and it slightly changed my perception of the film watching it of, huh, okay. He had his hair cut in the film. Other shots of him, he has this beautiful, luscious long hair. I'd say I enjoy the fact that I have watched the film. I did not enjoy watching the film.
Yeah, fair.
If that tracks.
Alright, another event.
Oh, it's Kaboom Boom.
Another flower. Make a little daylight. Okay!
Nice.
Don't ask a nuclear hellraven to make fire. Alright.
So, did she just make a mini sun and they left it there?
Yeah.
Oh god.
We're actually on the floor where these events all come together, but behind it is a level 50 something boss.
Oh, okay.
And since I was looking at what items do you get from this area, I know who it is, and yeah, it's something to hold off on.
Oh, goody. I anticipate the holding is great. Anticipation.
Maybe
So that's Wake and Fight. It's probably... I watched that one a while ago, so my brain's fuzzy on some details. But yeah. Alright, you have 1, 3, and 4 left.
Let's go with 3.
Picnic at Hanging Rock. Picnic at Hanging Rock is a movie which in the modern era is somewhat controversial because the story of the film and the book it's based off kind of became a tourist trap for Hanging Rock, and the fictional disappearance of the girls involved in the story is what most people know about it. And the indigenous history of the land is pretty much gone.
Neglected.
There's more acknowledgement of it now, thanks to there was a art project campaign thing that was done on it. But yeah, so that's sort of the knowledge I went into this film with was that there was this a little bit of a stir around it. What I did not expect... Okay, so what I also knew was the film is about a group of schoolgirls who go to a picnic at Hanging Rock and some of them vanish. Okay?
Yep.
I also knew that the mystery is never solved in the movie. Like, that's... It leaves ambiguous.
Leaves it ambiguous, yeah.
Yep. What I did not know going in was that this film would be really, really gay. By which I mean one of the characters is definitely a lesbian. It begins with all the girls reading poems and getting dressed in their pure white dresses because this is I'll get to that in a sec. And it's Valentine's Day, and so the movie sets up to be about, you know, romance and sort of things, and one of the girls says to the other one, you know, basically you have to get over me.
Yeah.
It's not directly stated at any point that Miranda says that to Sarah. It's not directly stated at any point that Sarah is gay, but Sarah is gay. She's Miranda is a symbol of purity and innocence that dies because, of course, she fucking disappears, and I'll get to that. Ah, we're attacked by a ball.
A tree.
Oh, no, not the tree.
I want to go up a tree briefly.
Okay.
So keep talking, because this is probably just going to be a me spamming battle.
Okay, so... Quickly recapping the plot. After those little romantic poems, Sarah has to stay behind for some reason. I think probably she's not completed all her work or something. But all the other girls go to Hanging Rock for a picnic. At Hanging Rock, they stab a Valentine's Day cake in a very symbolic way. They have some discussion of how old the landscape is, and the line, waiting all this time just for us is thrown there, which is, no. But, you know, film, that's fine. You're not thinking about Indigenous people at all, we get it. Then some of the girls go for a walk to do some measurements of the tree. And the two boys who are nearby see them, and one of the boys is like, "Oh, bet you she's got nice legs that go all the way up," and the other one's like, "Oh, this makes me uncomfortable." Girls go up the rock, and after a while they lie down, they take their shoes and socks off, and there's this kind of hypnotic sort of quality to it. And one of the girls who doesn't take her shoes and socks off kind of is like, "Where are you going?" And no one responds. They just keep wandering up into the rock, and then she runs away.
What happens?
All the girls who keep going up the rock. Then it cuts to the night, and the carriage coming home to the college where the girls are staying and studying, and it's essentially, oh well, them and the teacher went missing. The headmistress has told that. My memory's so spotty because it is a very dreamlike film, which I think is meant to keep you in on the idea that it's not a film about literal events. Like, it's not. Everything's a metaphor in this film. We're talking in the language of dreams and metaphors. Oh god, I'm trying to just run through the events quick. I'm not gonna bother. Okay, jumping ahead to the themes. The main theme of the film is alienation.
Yep.
And you are dead.
As expected.
As expected. The main theme of the film is alienation, and there's two sort of key forms that this takes. One of which is alienation between white Australia and the landscape. And the way sort of this very Eurocentric culture doesn't really provide people with, like, the landscape is kind of strange and in some ways hostile and frightening.
Yep.
And colliery, and attached to that is alienation of puberty and sexual awakening, because the girls start out as innocent with all the pure white. Miranda is literally described as a Botticelli angel, which I'll talk about again later. But the other thing that gives me this is the rock. And then we fight. Ooh, that's okay. That's a cool design.
Yep. Instant death.
Oh, that's not cool. Ooh.
It's squishy.
Oh, that's good. So the shape of the rock are these long, kind of cylindrical columns going up that are rounded on the top.
Aha.
So the rock's penis, but also vagina because of the crevices that they travel into between them. So I think the rock is very much serving as a sexual metaphor. This also ties into the awkwardness surrounding Sarah and her sort of unrequited love for Miranda, who vanishes, and sort of this longing for this innocence and purity that comes into it. I think the film handles these themes fairly well. Like, the film's very clever in the way it expresses these themes through its metaphors and visuals. I don't think the film survives. I don't think the film survives its time. Like, I think it would have been a great film when it was made. I don't think it holds up as well because of how culture has changed. If that makes sense.
I'm understanding you.
Like, there's discomfort I feel, and I think I wouldn't be the only one in the way sort of the romanticization, like young girls being romanticized as these innocent, precious angels, is sort of just accepted in the default of the film. And ooh, someone died of horror. So, like, I think that's sort of questionable. The way it sort of is talking and thinking about the Australian landscape, but at no point talks or thinks about Indigenous people, isn't amazing.
Yeah.
And you are dead. But you did fairly well, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe more fire.
Just got to get the right party for it.
I would have thought the Hellcrow would have been a good party member, because fire.
Yeah. I probably got too many casters, but...
Yeah, it's very well made. Oh, the other... I'm kind of neglecting whole subplots, but I think the themes are the interesting thing to discuss. I don't think the mystery of how they disappeared or what made them disappear matters. What it is the loss of the innocence of youth and the trauma and fear around growing up and having a sexual awakening. Which I'm sure you relate to strongly.
Surely.
Yep. You're the second ace person I've explained this film to, but the other one had actually seen it.
Ah. No can do on that front.
Which was hell. They were mad because at the end of the film the lesbian dies. Which, to be fair, is very much a bury your gays.
Yeah.
She either... There's two ways to interpret it. I lean towards the latter one. The first one is that she kills herself planning for Miranda. That doesn't make sense to me. The one that does is that the old lady kills her, but I wasn't... Because the old lady who's the headmistress, after the gardener finds her dead, Sarah dead, and then goes to the headmistress to tell her, and the headmistress is already in mourning wear. And that seems to me that, okay, so she killed her. I think it's because she didn't meet some standard of purity that, like, with Miranda gone, this other girl failing to be... I mean... I don't know, there was other stuff there of, like Sarah's dad wasn't paying for her classes or something, so she was going to be sent to an orphanage. Or sent back to an orphanage, and it was weird. I didn't entirely follow that subplot, to be honest. And I got to the end and it's like, oh, okay, so she's... Okay. I guess she's dead now. So yeah, that's Picnic at Hanging Rock. A fairly good film that I don't think works in today's, culture because of its ignorance of worldviews that have become more commonly understood.
Yeah. I understand.
I don't really want to talk about Jeddah, because that was a long time ago now, and I don't remember it that well, so we'll finish off with My Brilliant Career, which is a terrible, boring film.
Ah, wonderful. Something to talk about then.
Yep. Okay, so basically it's a film about... Okay, here's the plot of the film. There's this girl who's from the upper class, but her family is broke, so she needs to, she needs some way to be able to support herself in life. And being from the upper class and being like the 1800s or whatever, well, not 1800s, probably 1900s, but basically, her family's like, you need to get married. That's how you support yourself as a woman in this era. And she's like, but I want a career. I want to be a writer. Which, hun, writing career isn't going to support you for shit. Anyway, that aside, the film is mostly about the fact that she doesn't want to get married. The film's called My Brilliant Career. It begins with her finishing her book. I don't think we ever see anything of the goddamn book. I don't know what she's writing about. Maybe in the book it was meant to be her writing that book, but that book's just the book about her not getting married then. I don't think... the thing is, I don't want to get married. Okay, so don't. All of my family's telling me I have to. Yes, but you are capable of ignoring them, demonstrably so, because you're doing it constantly. it never feels like she's personally in conflict over whether or not she wants to get married.
Yeah.
She kind of says that she is to a few people, but that seems mostly to be like getting them off her back. Whenever it comes to crunch time, she's very clear of, no, this is not what I want, which cool. The question is then, what do you want? Well, you want to be a writer. Well, what do you want to write? What kind of story do you want to tell? What is your brilliant career about? She gets forced to go and teach this, like, poor Irish family at one point, but that doesn't really connect to anything, except that she's going through hardship. And that's just not enough for me. It's also the fact of, like, really, like, she's still upper class, you know? And I think I just don't identify with her on a class war fucking level. You know, like, your life is just not mine. You fucking entitled, like, you are an upper class lady who fucking self-publishes your book because you're comfortable and well enough to just do that. Like, I despise you. The only interesting thing about the film is it's got a very young Sam Neill in it.
Ah.
Who's pretty cute, but I kept staring at for half the movie going, who the fuck is that? Until I looked it up and found out it's Sam Neill. Who looks very strange with hair, like with a full head of hair.
I'll be honest, I don't quite know who Sam Neill is.
He's in Jurassic Park. Not Jeff Goldblum, the other one. The slightly balding dude in Jurassic Park. He was also, if you remember the ad about beef, you know, the meat industry ads, like about, you know, we eat help us evolve big brains. If you remember those ads, he was the dude in those.
Yeah, I vaguely remember those.
Yeah, that's Sam Neill. I'm pretty sure that's Sam Neill. Yeah, it's Sam Neill. Well, what might you know him in? Oh, apparently he's a vineyard proprietor. That vineyard. He owns grapes.
That's just grape.
Yeah, which honestly makes perfect sense to me. All right. Trying to find something you might know him from. Yeah, it's Jurassic Park. He's Dr. Alan Grant in Jurassic Park. Oh, he's the narrator in Gallipoli.
Ah. Alright, so the general hint of this battle is kill its ads.
Kill its what?
It summons minions.
Kill the minions.
Yes.
Kill the minions, kill the minions. Anyway.
Kill them quickly. That's not how you kill them. Oh, now I'm losing people.
Don't lose people. Losing people is bad.
That's why you gotta kill the minions.
It heals for every minion still on the field?
They can do that, yeah.
Or they cast heal on it?
They're casting heal.
Okay. That's annoying.
Shen. Let's swap you out.
In video game, do you understand that healing enemies isn't fun? No.
Well, at least it's controllable this time.
That is true. It's not the hideous trick. Oh. I mean, I think you can do it. You got very close last time.
Yeah.
Pew 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 pew. Oh, you're getting it with the cat. That's terrible. Oh, good, the cat's gone.
But I wanted the cat.
Well, cats are evil. They eat birds.
Wow, Komachi's almost dead.
Oh no. Come on, die. Uh-oh.
No, biggie. I mean, because Yugi's got a subclass skill that's literally called Fire Sword.
That's pretty good.
What are they gonna do by themselves? Die.
Die, die, die. Unless they can summon the boss back at full health, which would
I
be...
really hope not. That would be super annoying.
That would be a fuck you move.
Yeah, that's the point where you know the game's not being fair.
That's a game when you know the game. Yeah, that's a point when you know the game is like fucking with you.
Alright, Moko? Not Moko, Yomu. Do some gardening.
Not very good.
She got one of them.
Yeah. Weak. Oh, that's a lot of drops.
I guess each of the minions had a drop. Hold on, let me just take a screen cap of all that for comparison in later.
Yep. Toadstool shed. Okay.
Are you alive?
So, she's basically crippled and twitching, so we just throw her in the backpack.
Yep.
Like you do.
Let's wrap up today's session by checking what she actually does.
Okay.
Probably tank.
Pretty sure everyone's a tank.
In the right mindset. Alright, so lots of HP, decent defenses. Actually, I think she has higher attack than she used to.
Not great evasion.
Evasion's rarely great. What skills do you offer? Yep, same loadout as before. Single target punch. Oh, they seem to think Meiling's got low attack power anyway. Single target punch. Yep, these are the exact same moves. Oh, and it even thinks she's a tank.
From last game.
Yep. Exactly the same base moves. Other stuff. When she's on her turn, she ticks up a counter. Basically, every turn that she doesn't attack, she gets a power boost to her next attack.
Me.
And if she concentrates instead, it blows the bonus to give her healing.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Alright. When there are 4 allies and she is not the last... Oh, when she's not the tank, she gets a speed buff and takes less damage, so secondary tank. Again, much like what we did in the first game, because you'd have Ramilia as the primary tank and her as the healing with Ramilia.
That makes sense.
Whenever she's healed, she heals more. That's good. Generic Guts ability. Oh yeah, so she can do a sub-Moko. Automatic ally buff. And party team bonus.
Yeah,
Alright.
Yeah. Hang, show me that
So
one
yeah,
again.
which one? The STM?
Yeah.
Basically for every other member of the Devil crew, attack bonus.
Yep. Okay.
Alright, so yeah, that's one more tank for the party, and especially good since I've been running without tanks due to the point counts.
Yeah.
Ah well, that will wrap up today's session. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Where's my birdseed?
I said after.
It is after. Give.
Alright, I will wrap things up then by saying goodbye, and if any of you have birdseed, please send it to 1112 Street.